Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Huda binti Abdul Rahman and I'll be presenting on the first step, which is strategy formulation. In strategy formulation, we have 4 alternative strategies, which is the first one is unrelated diversification. This is a combination from rapid growth and high revenue from strength and new technologies in artificial intelligence from opportunity. The second strategy is enlargement in cloud computing. This is a combination from unbeatable compared to its competitors in the market share from strength and various competitors in the same field from threats. The third strategy is talent retention and employee acquisition. This is a combination from high turnover rate from weakness and the firm is located at developed country from opportunity. The last strategy is diverse teacher strategy. This is a combination from opaque and monolithic structure may lead to slow decision making from weakness and lack of interest from investor due to complex structure from threat. Moving on to the strategy evaluation for the first strategy, which is unrelated diversification. Unrelated diversification occurs when a company introduces new or unrelated product lines and expands it into a new areas. By having unrelated diversification strategy, it can increase the efficiency in capital allocation. When a company decided to do unrelated diversification, it will be easier for the company to allocate the capital according to the needs of each business. This will help to reduce wasting of capital in unnecessary places. We can see in each company under Alphabet Inc. has different types of business and eventually it will be easier in allocating to where the resources needs either by the core business or non-core business of Alphabet Inc. Unrelated diversification strategy also can create opportunity of competitive advantage. When a company enters into a new business, a company has an opportunity to have a competitive advantage if they properly assess their strategic planning. This is because a company have the opportunity to create or invent any product or services that other company cannot imitate. For example, Alphabet is creating a new self-driving cars where this industry does not have many competitors that can harm Alphabet, in which this can increase Alphabet's competitive advantage. And lastly, unrelated diversification can attract existing investor. When Google restructured into Alphabet Inc., it helps the existing investor to invest in other bets since it is attracted in what other bets invented into a new industry. This helps Google in killing 2 birds with 1 stone, whereby the investors are interested in investing in both core and non-core business. The second strategy evaluation is for enlargement in cloud computing. The platform of cloud computing by Alphabet is becoming increasingly popular among individuals and businesses for a variety of reasons, including cost savings, increased productivity, speed and efficiency, performance, and security. The first evaluation for this strategy is the cloud computing is cost saving of consumer because it also has incredibly huge cost cutting potential for large businesses. Prior to the cloud becoming a viable option, businesses were required to purchase, build and maintain costly information management technology and infrastructure. Companies can replace costly server center and IT departments with fast internet connections, allowing employees to complete tasks online by interacting with the cloud. The second evaluation of this strategy is Alphabet Cloud's growth accelerated slightly again in the third quarter, with parent company Alphabet reporting cloud revenue of $3.4 billion, a 45% increase year-on-year. The cloud computing helps in increasing the productivity, which also increases the revenue of the company. The last evaluation of this strategy is the enlargement of cloud computing will maintain the high level of investment, where give the opportunity for Alphabet to be competitive advantage among others. When the Alphabet lead the market, after all, Alphabet had the advantage compared to the other competitors. The third strategy evaluation is on talent retention and employee acquisition. Since the organization has access to talented human capital, the majority of which can be easily found in developed countries, they can also alleviate excessive employee turnover. Thus, rather than resourcing the best candidates from a limited talented employee, resourcing the best candidates from a more prominent qualified employee will result in a more efficient talent acquisition process. The evaluation of talent retention and employee acquisition strategy is employee engagement and rise of productivity. Employers must engage their people if they want to achieve high performance in post-industrial intangible labor that requires creativity, adaptability, and quickness. The second evaluation of this strategy is responsible managers with extensive experience. This strategy allows Alphabet to deploy diverse leadership styles and establish different cultural variation in each of its business. The last strategy evaluation is for diverse teacher strategy. This strategy could be understood as an attempt made by the organization to sell some part of the businesses and further become less diverse. The first evaluation for this strategy is that Alphabet Inc. shall minimize any underperforming division found in the associated organization. Underperformance division shall be considered any part of organization that is unable to achieve the expectation had been set up by the organization. Since Alphabet Inc. is ranked in the top tier around the world, the holding company wanted to minimize any losses and demonstrate a solid financial status to its stakeholders to avoid reputational risk. As for example, Nestle had applied divestiture strategy when it sold Butterfinger, Baby Ruth, and Nuts to Ferrero to concentrate on rapid growing products and healthier products. Thus, the divestiture strategy is useful to handle the poor performance of division found within Alphabet Inc. Furthermore, the second evaluation of this strategy is that Alphabet Inc. could give the subsidiaries a sense of fairness and importance. Each subsidiary falls within Alphabet Inc. has different types of business, which means the needed sources are various. Due to many subsidiaries formed under one roof, Alphabet Inc. may provide imbalanced aiding resources to subsidiaries, causing some of the subsidiaries to become less competitive in the market. We can see that Project Titan was abandoned by Alphabet Inc. owing to a lack of funding and significance after being evaluated. The company decided it was the best by assigning the affected personnel from the drone project to serve for Alphabet Inc. or Google. Hence, lessen the division under Alphabet Inc. can cause the holding company to focus more on existing division.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amira binti Ibrahim. So I will continue on presenting alternative choices. So the first point is unrelated diversification. There has been a greater competition in the core business of Alphabet Incorporated internet-related services with other organizations such as Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. The reason why unrelated diversification is a good choice is because it can reduce risk by operating in various markets and product lines, in which you can see that based on Alphabet's belief whereby they are restructuring Google into Alphabet is to split the core and non-core business for the interests of stakeholders and profit making. We can see based on Alphabet's belief, which is the existence of Alphabet will allow more management skill and run teams independently that are not related. Based on the belief, the organization has separated business into Google's core businesses and other best non-core businesses to run independently. By having these independent businesses, it will create more unrelated services and products that can boost the growth of the company. Hence, having unrelated strategy keeps the company aligned with belief. We can see, based on the unrelated diversification strategy, it helps Alphabet Incorporated not just compete with the related markets such as Apple and Microsoft on the web search engine, but it helps to increase the innovation in creating new unrelated products such as ad services like YouTube to increase more interest from stakeholders to invest and gain profitability. The next point is enlargement in cloud computing. Alphabet's incorporated mission, which is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Instead of storing files on proprietary hard drive or local storage devices, cloud-based storage allows them to be saved to a remote database. As long as an electronic device has internet access, it has access to data and software programs needed to run it. The cloud computing can improve the performance and security in IT management, where it also can be accessed by consumer anytime and anywhere. Besides, it also allows users to upgrade software more quickly because software companies can deliver their products through the web rather than more traditional tangible methods such as disk or flash drives. By combining intelligent automation with cloud spend management, the consumer can increase efficiency, reduce cloud costs, and improve time to result where it can help in terms of speed of production. The cloud computing will contribute in product and services is becoming more productive and run smoothly. So, for the next point is talent retention and employee acquisition strategy. In this part, we assess that Alphabet Incorporated choose to refer to Google's code of conduct, which Alphabet Incorporated then demonstrate its commitment to equal employment opportunity. Individual merit and qualities directly relevant to professional competence we use to hire Alphabet Incorporated employees. The organization expressly prohibited unlawful discrimination or harassment based on race, ethnicity, faith, veteran status, nationality, maternity, or physical disability. The firm also provides all alternative arrangements to meet their legal obligations to protect the disabled right. Furthermore, the firm policy is to obey all applicable national, state, and local anti-discrimination and equal opportunity legislation, the organization's equal employment opportunity policy, and its affirmative action duties involve the total support of the company, including its chief executive officer. The last one is diversity strategy. In accordance with Alphabet's incorporated forward-looking statement, the holding company reported in the annual report that their anticipation to the proportion of the income derived from non-advertising sources will keep growing, thereby affecting real profit margins. From this statement, Alphabet Incorporated aim in making sure all non-revenue generated manage to get expected income that have been set up by Alphabet Incorporated. Thus, the subsidiary will stay competitive in market to achieve desired output. It allows the holding company to assess whether the non-main income sources had met their professional level of income, and if they succeed, Alphabet Incorporated will have to reconsider if they need to do the diversity strategy or not.
Assalamualaikum, I bid to Madam May and my fellow classmates. My name is Fatin Amira and I will further explain regarding the strategic implementation by Alphabet Incorporated. Firstly, we will look from the aspect of product diversification. This strategy will be implemented by the top-level management, which is the board of directors and overall management team. As the top-level management will decide on the most suitable option on which innovation should be approved. Then, for the progress, Alphabet will introduce more business that include unrelated new products and services that is relatively new and unrelated with the core business. Based on the past example for non-core business, that is no related with the search engine is Google Map. So Alphabet may also include in planning continuous strategic management in R&D process, which is research and development of new product. Since the company is still new, so R&D is very important and should be done properly for the output to be in a good condition and recognized by the stakeholder. The resources for the product diversification is involved with the market resources, financial resources, and marketing resources. And the outcome for this strategy, it will increase the existing potential investor to invest in the other bets. Next, we will look from the aspect enlargement in cloud computing. The action taken for this strategy is top-level management, shareholder, and cloud spend management is involved in enlargement of cloud computing. These authorities play a vital role to ensure the cloud computing is success as the strategy alternative. For the progress of enlargement in cloud computing is to structure planning for cloud computing as the delivery of various services through the internet, whereby the tools and applications such as data storage, server, database, networking, and software are examples of the resources needed. There are two resources required for the cloud computing. The first one is cloud engine, whereby the virtual machine of Alphabet that control the running data of server of cloud computing and also known as a data center. Second resources required is Google Kubernetes engine. It is the software by Alphabet that manage environment for running of application through the cloud computing. And the outcome for the strategy is to increase the potential consumer individually or from the well-known organization, because the consumer of cloud computing is not only focused for the private user but also focused from the public user. It also helps in generate more revenue. And lastly, the high investment from investor as the enlargement in cloud computing can gain trust and confidence of investors to Alphabet Incorporated. For the strategic implementation from aspect of talent retention and employee acquisition, Google's employee operation teams and human resource team have taken the initiative of using people analytics and technology to drive the talent acquisition strategy. These include projects such as Project Oxygen, which focus on discovering what successful Google managers do, and Project Aristotle, which focus on what makes the team effective at Google. Human resources and intellectual resources are two key resources that are very vital for this strategy that the organization should focus on. They are being recognized to hire the most outstanding and most talented people in the industry, pay the employee well, and retain the talent. This organization has eliminated the uncertainty from employee management by using the analytics to enhance their strategy of attracting and retaining people. Importance of people analytics to help them outperform their competitors and consider it critical to have if they want to assure corporate development. As a result, many businesses invest in the IT infrastructure, human resource strategy, and team competency to accomplish high-quality people analytics. Moving on to the divestiture strategy. The action taken is involve the board director and all level management subdivision. The board of director of Alphabet Incorporated is responsible to identify the method of divestiture and which subdivision show less maximization of capital in generating the revenue. Next, for the progress, Alphabet Incorporated will decentralize the organizational structure to ensure all level employees are involved in decision making. Therefore, the element of opaque and monolithic should be faded in the company. Next, for the strategic leadership, it will apply in the context to create the smooth communication process between the employee involved in the division and the buyer of the proposed subdivision. The board of directors must engage with the organization stakeholders like investor and supplier. The resources required by Alphabet Incorporated when doing the divestiture strategy is financial resources. When the organization decided to rid a certain part of its business, it is very vital for the organization to have sufficient retained capital where they could still operate smoothly. For some shareholders, they are concerned about the certainty of organization performance when the organization decided to remove the income generator. In consequences, Alphabet Incorporated may generate more cash flow into the organization and the capital could utilized to invest in the existing project or new business. Moreover, the investor will become satisfied with the changes of structure enacted by the Alphabet Incorporated and further will feel relief because the organization have properly designed a less complex organization and built confidence among the investors. That's all from me, and next we will look at the strategy evaluation.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hidayatul Eli Nadia, and now I will be presenting the strategy evaluation. So let's look at the comparison between the past and also improvised IFA matrix. For the strengths, we add on a new key external factor, which is the competency employees that could lead to the efficiency of the company. And for the weaknesses, we already eliminate the high turnover rate. Next is the EFE matrix. So there are two new key external factors, which is the new supplier and investor could be sought and the high quality of core product services for the opportunities. And for the trades, there are also two new key external factors, which is high expenses or R&D due to the unrelated product and also unsustainable competitive actions, which is the new entrance into markets.
Looking at the corrective action, the disadvantage of having to create an unrelated product or services for a new company cannot boost the profit in the short term due to the vague and also cloudy plan of invention. Thus, organizations need to provide a sustainable long-term planning and studies on the interests of stakeholders to achieve the competitive advantage. Secondly, security has always been a major concern with the cloud, particularly when dealing with the sensitive medical records and financial data. For example, if the encryption key is lost, then the data is disappeared. Therefore, for the corrective actions of the enlargement in cloud computing, organizations should use multi-factor authentication, strong password, and automated certificate, and also the key rotations to secure and manage the access. This will result in fewer unauthorized access and also the data theft. Thirdly, as a worldwide organization, the news of selling the divisions will be spread and might trigger the public, especially the shareholders. So some parties will become displeased with the proposed strategy and may decrease the stock price at the market shares. In order to overcome this, Alphabet should respond wisely to the news by appropriately utilize the media coverage since it is a powerful tool to influence the society. Accepting shareholders will be eager to support the organization's strategy and encourage the stock price to rise. Next, individuals from minority groups may be at disadvantage in the talent acquisition process when the social media is used. The differences in applicant appearance and also the organization recruitment on social networking sites may favor older, skilled, and male applicants during the early stages of the talent acquisitions. Thus, organizations can conduct demographic research on their followers on various social networking sites to acquire insight into who they should be potentially reaching. There are two types of measurement that being implied, which are quantitative and also the qualitative method. Firstly, for the quantitative method, we use numerical data of revenue and losses of each year for unrelated diversifications to ensure that which product should be taken off or should be upgraded for each year. Meanwhile, for the enlargement in cloud computing, logical abstractions is taking place in the context of technologies in which by 2021, Alphabet expected to use the software of SDX to diversify the Alphabet cloud platform. Diversity strategy also used the method of quantitative, in which the Alphabet needs to interpret the income statements from its annual report and make comparison which sources of income met the expectations of the organization. Last but not least, the only strategy that used qualitative method, which is talent retentions and employee acquisitions. By referring to the Google Code of Conduct, which highlights that the organization is applying its equal opportunities employment without discriminating against particular groups, so the decision makers who viewing the candidate sites should be trained to properly evaluate the traits of the interest in an objective and non-biased manner. As a conclusion, after reviewing each of the alternative strategies, we decide that all four strategies are needed to strengthen the organizations. However, organizations need to pay more attention to the implementations of the unrelated diversifications, because there is a possibility to enhance the economies of many markets, and Alphabet should also focus on the talent retentions and employee acquisition, since recruitment is essential for the long-term competitive advantage and also is necessary for the real organizational existence. Therefore, we can see that the strategic management is the practice of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross-functional decisions that can help a company to achieve its short-term and long-term objectives.
And that's from us. Thank you.